Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is titled, What Are People Noticing About You? So today's reading is a little different because I am not going to be on camera. You just will be hearing my voice. And we've done these types of readings before. I just don't do them very often. Anyways, we have three paths here for you today, and you are welcome to pick more than one, or if you resonate with all of them, that is fine. Please understand that you are a multidimensional being, and you're going to have different aspects of yourself show up in different piles if that resonates for you, okay? But before I get into the reading, I do want to say this about all three piles as I was channeling energy. Essentially, what people are noticing is that within all piles, there's themes of self-love. There's themes of choosing self over others, and not in a selfish way, but in a liberating, in a revolutionary way, in a divinely guided way. Okay. So a lot of you are learning to love yourself and honor yourself, and people are starting to see that. Okay. So now I'm going to give you all a second to pick, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number one. So pile number one, what are people noticing about you? Okay. So pile number one, people are noticing how you've transformed. You are not the same person they knew growing up. You no longer hide who you truly are, and people are noticing how unique and innovative you are. There are so many people rooting for you, while there are so many people who want to be in your circle as a friend or as a romantic partner. The way you mind your business and stay out of the way is very attractive. You are a leader and you help people see the beauty within themselves because you have learned to see your own inner and outer beauty. You have matured and you have brought structure, organization, and love into your life. So that is what people are noticing about you, pile number one. That's the channel message. So let's get into these cards and see, okay? So number one, the first card that you got, pile number one, is the Nine of Swords. Okay. So people are noticing that the way that you speak to yourself has changed. The way that you speak of yourself has changed. You don't ruminate over past mistakes anymore. I feel like pile number one, you are somebody who may have suffered from chronic anxiety at one point of your life, or you maybe still battle with that, but you find healthy coping mechanisms and remedies that help you decrease that stress and anxiety. Okay. So people are noticing that you're no longer stressed out. You're not stressing over what you can't control. You're focusing on what can bring you more satisfaction within your life, what can help you to be more stable, because it says that you have that structure and that organization. So you're bringing that into your life, and people are noticing that. People are noticing that you are working on your mental health. So some of you could have went to therapy here, or some of you are just going on this quest of knowledge to really find yourself. Okay, people are noticing that. The next card that we have is the Hanged Man. So people are noticing that your spiritual beliefs could be changing, or you could really be buckling down. Okay, so maybe you were a Christian at one point, but now you're really a Christian, you know. And what I mean by that is, like, maybe you didn't take it as serious in the beginning, but now you really stick with the Bible and the word. And if that doesn't resonate with you, okay, let it be, because that's what I'm picking up. I'm also picking up on people who are spiritual. So you could have left religion and became spiritual, and now you're really tapped into like chakras and crystals and meditation and breath work and eating plant-based. So you may be in that realm right now, and people are noticing that. People are noticing that you're seeing things differently, because in the Hangman card, we have a bird like looking down from the sky. So people are noticing that you have a bird's eye view to things. The way you see things, you no longer see them how they used to be. You see things in a different light. And that's why your life has changed, because our life, the way our life is, it can be influenced by other people, but 90% of the time it's influenced by us. It's influenced by our thoughts, our emotions, and our feelings and our behavior. So you have changed all of that. And that's why your life is changing, and people are noticing that. Okay. It's a profound change. The next card we have is the Four of Wands. Okay, so people are noticing that you are becoming committed to your goals. So, like I said, if you started out and you were Christian, but you really, you weren't really into it, but now you're really into it, people are noticing that. And the same thing goes for your spirituality. People are noticing how you're committing to it. You're committing to knowing who you are. And also, the Four of Wands symbolizes marriage here. So, some of you could actually be getting married here. People are noticing that. Okay, take what resonates. And if this is not something that's currently happening, you will be getting married in the future. Also, I feel like people are just noticing that you are marriage material. The way you work on yourself, the way you improve yourself, the way you're improving your finances, and just who you are as a person, that's attractive. And people are like, oh, this person is marriage material. Okay. That's what people are noticing. The next card we have is the High Priestess. So people are noticing, they're noticing how in tune you are with yourself. You are very in tune with who you are. You're moving by that inner compass. You are moving because you have been divinely guided. So you're trusting in yourself to do things that you want to do, to work out, to eat better. I feel like you're on your healthy girl era, okay, for my women out there. And if you're a guy watching this, you're in your healthy man era. And if you're non-binary, you're just in your healthy area. Your healthy era. I said healthy area, that too. But you're in your healthy era where you're taking better care of your health, and not just your physical health, but your mental health here. Big on mental health. Okay. You're listening to yourself more. You're not allowing people to stress you out or to confuse you. Okay. You're listening to that divine guidance. You're listening to your intuition. You're not seeking validation from other people. You're solely relying on what you feel is right. Okay. People are noticing that because maybe you're somebody who used to always want a second opinion, or you used to always seek validation and advice, but you're no longer doing that. I feel like you're taking your own advice, because I'm hearing that song by Kaylani. She was like, take my own advice. Take my own advice. So I feel like you're learning how to take your own advice, okay? I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. Pile number one, my window is slightly open, okay? I have to take a drink real quick. I have some apple juice. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, pile number one. It's like you are just leveling up through connecting with yourself. People are noticing that you are very much connected with yourself. You know who you are. You're no longer waiting on other people to give you the validation for who you are. You have found that within yourself. You see how she is looking in this picture? I feel like that's how you're looking at yourself. Pile number one, people have noticed that you have connected with your higher self. Like somebody here could be watching The Legend of Korra right now, or really like that show, because what I'm seeing is in The Legend of Korra, when Rava, which is the light, connects with Korra, it's like it was a difference, right? You seen how Korra was different. Her strength was different. She was different. So that's what I'm picking up for you, pal number one. Like you've connected with your higher self. So the way you move is different. And people are noticing that. All right, the next couple of cards we have letting go. So you have let go of a lot. Like you have let go of a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of things that have weighed you down. Okay. I feel like this is a thought process for you, part number one. You've let go of negative thinking patterns. You've let go of the what ifs and begin to live life as is. You're no longer stressing about what happened in the past. You've let go of the past, or people are noticing that. You've let go of your past. Okay. You've forgiven your past too. The next card we have is Sanctuary. So with this Sanctuary card, this is like you coming home to yourself. People are realizing that some of you could actually be buying a home or be building a home here, and people are noticing that. Okay. And I want to go back to that marriage card that we had. If you're already married, people are noticing just how committed you and your partner are to each other. Okay. They're seeing how committed you are. They're seeing how both of y'all are 10 toes down for the crown. Okay. I just had to say that. I don't know why, but somebody here may like to wear crowns here. Take what resonates. Oh, also people are noticing that you have a regal energy, a classy royal type of energy, an expensive type of energy. Okay. I'm having deja vu. So some of you could have deja vu a lot. Take what resonates. The next card that we have is options. So people are noticing that you have more options in your life. I feel like you've created these options by cutting out bad food, by cutting out toxic people, by letting go of jobs that don't serve you. I feel like you've done a lot to level up, and it required elimination. So people are noticing that you have a lot of options, but I feel like people are noticing that a lot of people are attracted to you, pal number one. You could be like posting pictures of your body and stuff like that because you have a lot of suitors, and that's what people are noticing, that you have a lot of people that want you, okay? Because you have that it girl energy, that it boy energy, and if you are non-binary, you just have that it factor energy, okay? With the next card, we have Mars. So, like I said, some of you could be working out your physical body here, and people are noticing that. People are noticing that you're working on building your muscles or toning your body. Some of you could be actually trying to gain weight here, but whatever it is, you're working on your body. Okay, people are noticing that. People are also noticing that you're accepting your body, okay? So if you're somebody who, you feel like you had body dysmorphia before, or you just struggle with accepting your body because it doesn't fit into Eurocentric beauty standards, people are noticing that you have more of a confidence in your body shape, whatever it is, okay? Because all bodies are beautiful, okay? The next card we have is Jupiter. So people are noticing how you're expanding, okay, in your life. You're expanding, you're growing something, whatever it is. You could be building a, like I said, building a home here, okay? You could also be furthering your education here. So some of you could be going to get master's degrees or PhDs, or some of you could actually just be in your undergrad right now. You could be in college currently, okay? People are noticing that you're very philosophical here. So you may post quotes, but you have a lot of wisdom. And I don't think that people think that when they first see you, pal number one, just because of their preconceived notions. Because when somebody is knowledgeable, a lot of people expect you to dress professional, like have on a suit, but you can still be knowledgeable and have on some flip-flops and a pink shirt. Knowledge is something that's within. Knowledge is not a certain outfit or a certain demeanor. You know what I'm saying? But people are noticing that about you. You also could be getting blessed here and getting good karma, and that's what people are noticing. The next card we have is Sagittarius. So people are noticing that you're becoming more free spirited, okay? And let me go over these cards. So somebody could be a Pisces, somebody could be a Sagittarius here, but also with this Mars energy, it's giving Scorpio and Aries. So somebody could be an Aries watching this, or a Scorpio, take what resonates. But back to the Sagittarius energy, people are noticing that you're getting clear on your goals. And like Sagittarius represents that archer, people are noticing that you have a clear shot, you have a clear view. I feel like you let go of so much that was holding you back so that you could see clear. I feel like you peeled off other people's projections and layers of you that are inaccurate. And that is what people are noticing about you, that you're more free. You're doing what you want to do. I feel like you kind of surprise certain people, but it's because of their projection of you and having an incorrect perception of you. Okay. You're being yourself regardless of what people think here. And that's what they're noticing. So what's interesting is this message right here that you see, I already channeled it before I pulled the cards, right? And I pulled two cards that represent leadership, okay? So the first card actually says leadership. So people are recognizing that you're a leader. Maybe you have something you do where you lead other people, okay? Some of you could be the president of a club at your school, the president of, a sports team, a coach, or, you have some type of role that makes you a leader. Okay. You could be involved in leadership roles here. Okay. Take what resonates. People are noticing that. Okay. People are noticing that other people want to follow you. This is kind of reminding me of the reading that I did, I think about 2 weeks ago. Why are people staring at you? This is given pile number one. So if you chose pile number one from that reading, then this is just confirmation. Okay. The next card we have is the Sun card, and it says act like a leader. So again, this is just reiterating that people see you as a leader. Okay. Yeah, people see you as a leader here. Okay. And the Sun, people are noticing that your energy is very warm. Your energy is very radiant. You're glowing. Your skin could be glowing right now. People are noticing that about you, that you have this glow with you. Okay. I feel like you've always had a glow, pile number one. You're just glowing more because you know who you are. Like in this leadership card, um, I'm hearing Princess Diana by Queen, not by Queen, but by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, okay? I'm hearing Princess Diana, and I didn't even mean to say Queen. So like I said, somebody here is regal, very regal, but I'm hearing that as well. So that goes back to me bringing up royalty, okay? In this leadership card, I wanted to point out that there's this big bright star. So it's standing out. People are noticing that you stand out, okay? The next card we have is inner peace with these two fish. So, like I said, somebody's a Pisces or somebody's a water sign here because we have heavy fire and water energy. Okay. Yeah. Fire and water. And somebody could also be a Leo here. Okay. But with this inner peace card, it's like people are noticing that you're focusing more on things that bring you joy in your life. Like I said, that satisfaction, like you're focusing on living a beautiful life. Like pound number one, I feel like you understand that life is too short. So why am I going to waste my life worried about what people think about me? Why am I going to waste my life wearing a mask? Okay. Because this first card, you have the first house card. And with this card, it says in the first house, it actually has a mask on it. Okay. So people are noticing that you no longer wear a mask. Maybe you used to just to please people, but you are no longer that person. Okay. You know who you are. All right. The next card that we have is Libra. So people are recognizing that you're beautiful. Okay. Like I said, you have suitors, you have options if you're posting. Okay. But also we have it says do it with your partners. So somebody here could be getting married, okay? Like I said, or somebody's just in a very beautiful relationship. Somebody could be in a relationship that could be considered a power couple, whether you're married or not, okay? Take what resonates. People are noticing that you have somebody who really loves you, okay? The next card we have is Pluto. So people are recognizing that you've transformed. People are recognizing that you've built a whole new life for yourself, okay? The next card we have is Gateway. So you've opened up new doors for yourself, and it's evident in the way that you carry yourself. So people are realizing that, okay? And in this card, it's like this beautiful big light shining through, and then there's this unicorn, and this unicorn just gives me Aquarius energy. So people are just seeing how unique you are. You are limited edition. You're not like the rest, okay? I feel like people see you clearly. That's why I feel like you have 12th house energy because the thing about us 12th house placements is people see us clearly when we're no longer in their life. And I'm going to make a video about this on my YouTube channel soon for all my 12th housers out there. But it's like the reason why that happens is because it's kind of like this smoke and mirrors energy. Like people will think that what they're looking at is not them, so they'll project things onto you as a 12th houser. So for example, if you were dealing with somebody who was lazy, they would tell you that you're lazy because they can't see it in themselves. And a lot of times us 12th housers suffer because people will confuse our energy for theirs. So if you're somebody who isn't lazy, they take on that energy and say, well, that's me. So they kind of swap identities. That's the thing about 12th house energy that I've noticed is people confuse your energy for theirs. And I feel like you've had a lot of situations like this, pal number one, which is why you've removed yourself from these people and you've gotten clear. I feel like you've gotten very clear on what it is you want to bring to fruition. And these things are going to come to fruition. And that's what people are noticing. People are noticing that you've done that inner work because it shows. Okay. With this stillness card, people are just seeing how graceful you are. Like you kind of remind me of a ballerina. Pal number one, like you have that energy where you just flow. Okay. People are noticing that about you. And there's like animals on these cards, and all these animals have some type of white skin or white fur. So, the color white represents purity. People are noticing that. So some of you could have like healed from addictions, actual substance addictions here, or alcohol addictions, because you may be on this journey of sobriety. People are noticing that. Take what resonates if that's for you. Okay. People are just also noticing how beautiful of a heart you have, how kind you are. People are noticing that, okay? I feel like you didn't really show this type of kindness because you had people taking advantage of it. So you stopped showing it. But as you learn to love yourself, you know how to have boundaries, discernment. So you've learned that it's safe for me to show this love and kindness to people. And people are seeing that and receiving that. People are noticing how generous you are, pound number one. You're very giving. I feel like you're somebody who donates a lot or you give your last to people, okay? But yeah, that's what people are noticing about you. Pile number one. Thank you so, so much for coming to this reading. Moi, moi, moi. See you soon. Okay, pile number two. Let's see what people are noticing about you. So, pile number two, people have noticed how you have more compassion, respect, and love for yourself than you ever have before. People can't get to you like they used to. You have built something beautiful for yourself, by yourself. While people were clowning you, you were building. You took every stone they threw at you and you built a mental mansion. They cannot disturb your peace because you no longer give importance to their existence. Let me run that back. They cannot disturb your peace because you no longer give importance to their existence. People tried to come for you, but they just ended up making themselves look stupid in the end. You were tested, but your faith in yourself and the higher power was strengthened. Since you've gotten so close to God, it's easier to see and read people, including yourself. You are so at peace. So this kind of reminds me of pile number one, but just an extension, especially with that peaceful energy. It's like people are noticing that you are at peace. Like you kind of give me that Omarion energy, unbothered as fuck. Like pad number two, you're unbothered. You know how she is in this picture? Like you're more concerned about you. You're like, that's why I'm getting you give pad number one vibes. Like you're looking at you and what you need right now. You found your magic. People are noticing that you found your magic. And once you've seen how valuable you were, pad number two, it's like I feel like shit you used to entertain, it disgusts you now. The things, the people, the ideas, the mindsets you used to entertain, it really disgusts you because you have found your worth. Okay, let's get into these cards. Okay. So, first things first. The first card we have is the Fool card. Okay, you started out with the Major Arcana, pile number two. So this is divinely orchestrated. All right. With this Fool card, this represents new beginnings. People are noticing that you've turned over a new leaf. People are noticing that you've stepped into a new path in life. You're no longer doing the same shit you used to do. You don't hang out with the same people you used to hang out with. Some of you could even be have done career changes, or you extended your career and added something to it. Okay. The next card we have is the Knight of Swords, but in reverse. So people are noticing that you do not speak as much. I feel like pile number two, you may be in your quiet girl era. If you're a man, you're in your quiet boy era. If you're non-binary, you're just in your quiet era where you're not really expressing a lot. Like you're moving in silence, and people are noticing that. Like people are noticing that you don't hit them up anymore. And the phone worked both ways. Pile number two, when you realize that the phone worked both ways, you do not go out of your way to call people, including family. Okay. I feel like this is family noticing this about you too, that you don't really speak to them anymore. I feel like you used to be somebody who used to have emotional outbursts, not in a bad way, but I feel like you would be trying to defend yourself. And it seemed like these people fed off of that. Like I feel like pile number two, in the past, you could have been really surrounded by energy vampires. And I'm so sorry because I really get that this is my pile that has been really abused. You have been very abused in so many different ways. And I feel like it's been mostly by friends and family and relationships, you know, people you think that are in love with you, people, friends that you think have your back, family that's supposed to be there for you. I feel like you've had to see the dark sides of the people that you love the most. Okay. And they're noticing how you don't speak to them anymore. Okay. A lot of these people could be blocked from speaking to you. Okay. Because I feel like you just dealt with a lot of people talking down on you and disrespecting you here. I feel like pound number two, people are noticing that they cannot do that anymore because you have so much love for yourself that you're not going to tolerate that shit. Okay. This is my feisty pal because you're making me get in this energy. Pal number two, you making me get like this because you probably used to fight a lot. Pal number two, you probably used to be a hothead, but you calmed down. Okay. You know, and I feel like you probably just fought for the right reasons. Like you never fought over some dumb shit, but you no longer fight at all because you're just like, I have so much to lose. I have built this piece for myself. I'm not going to lose that because I feel like people in the past probably found ways to poke at you and kept using them because they knew that they were going to get an emotional reaction. But since you found this piece, you don't give that emotional reaction. You block people. You don't argue with them. You hang up on somebody when they're going off. Like you're not allowing people to just project their negativity, their fears, and their traumas onto you because you're realizing that it has nothing to do with you. And that's what people are noticing. Real talk. The next card we have is the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So these two cards coming out, I feel like you've freed yourself from toxic people. That's why you're giving pile number one's energy. It's like you freed yourself. You're no longer around sneaky ass people, because even though the Seven of Swords didn't come out, it's given that energy of deception and betrayal. People are noticing how you're no longer putting up with deception and betrayal. You're no longer looking at them through rose-colored glasses. You're seeing people for who the fuck they really are. Excuse my French, okay? Some of you may curse a lot here in this pile. People may be noticing that about you as well, that you're more strict and you're a little bit more assertive here with how you speak. You know, you used to be a person that maybe said, please, can you stop doing that? But now you're like, stop. You don't sugarcoat yourself anymore. People are noticing that. Excuse me, I had to take a drink break. Sip some of my apple juice. Because sometimes, y'all, my mouth get so dry doing these readings. So excuse me when I have to take those little breaks. But anyways, as I was saying, like, you freed yourself. Like, pile number two, I feel like you are attracting your soul tribe because you want better around you. And it's so beautiful. And I'm so happy for you, pile number two, because I've been where you are. Like, people try to come for you and bring you down, but just know that those are tests. And it's fucked up to say it, but it is, you know, you're being tested, okay? And people are realizing and noticing that you've passed these tests, because now you're going to have beautiful people in your life, because all God wanted you to see was the beauty in yourself. All God wanted you to see was the magic, and all God wanted you to see was your value. You are worth gold, worth more than gold, pile number two. And access to your energy is a privilege here, and people are noticing that, okay? They're noticing that because I feel like you just been around some fake, phony people, jealous people, extremely jealous people, okay? Because it's people who are jealous of you when you're trying to help them. That's the thing that is so perplexing to me. Like, how are you jealous of somebody who's trying to help you? I feel like you are exhausted with trying to help people and be there for themselves, pile number two. So people are noticing that you've turned that help inward and you're helping yourself. You're no longer looking out for people like you used to. You're no longer being that shoulder to cry on, because I feel like if the roles are reversed, you didn't have a shoulder to cry on, pile number two. So let's move on, girl, because whoo, got me going deep into this, because is this my pile? Like, honey, I feel this all the way, you know? And pile number two, just give yourself the credit for overcoming this, because it takes a lot, baby. It takes a lot. All right, let's move on. So the next card that we have here is release. So you've released a lot of people. I feel like you cut off a lot of people. This could literally be social media where you've literally deleted a lot of people. You could have had like 3,000 friends, now you have 1,000. Or you could have had 100 friends, and now you have 30. Like, pile number two, you are not playing about your peace. And people are realizing that. Maybe people you've unfriended are noticing that they've been unfriended. They're noticing. It's like, I feel like you've been and did this though, so they're late. But that shows you how much you don't even mean to people. You just now realizing that I cut you off. You ain't check on me, nothing. Like, I feel like pile number two, you're so over it. You're so over these people, because you want genuine connections in your life. You want people around you that are going to be 100. I feel like loyalty is something that you're striving for, and people are noticing that, okay? People know that they have to be loyal to get into your circle, all right? The next card that we have is power. So people are noticing that you know your power, and you know that there's power in your love. Pile number two, you have a big heart. You have a really big heart, and that is superpower for you. And you've recognized that your love is so powerful. Your love is healing. So you know who to pour into and who not to pour into. Okay. And people are noticing that. The next card we have is truth. People are noticing that you see the truth in them. I feel like people that try to get over on you, they're shocked and they're even scared about number two, because you see them for who they are. I feel like you have been in this isolation period and you're probably coming out of it, okay? I feel like you're no longer in this isolation period because God has already refined you. This is the pile of people that are anointed, okay? And I'm not saying my other pals aren't anointed, because people that could be anointed may be watching those pals, but I really, really, really feel it in this pile. Like, you've had to go through a lot of spiritual warfare because you have a higher calling in this lifetime, okay? But you see the truth in people, and people are noticing that. That's why I said it can be kind of scary for them because you know how to read people. I feel like this is a gift that has been you've always had, but it grew in that isolation period. And I feel like you kind of don't want to come out of that isolation period, pound number two. I feel like you got comfortable with it. And God is like, nope, it's time for you to come out and shine and be yourself, be your beautiful self. But I feel like you are easing out, of your shell here, okay? Because I feel like you have to go through that phase of metamorphosis, being the caterpillar, good into the cocoon, coming out, being the butterfly. You are the butterfly, pound number two, but you don't want your wings torn or broken. So you distance yourself, okay? But yeah, people are noticing that you see the truth and they know that they can't hide things from you, okay? With this next card, we have delight. So people are noticing that you spend less time helping other people fix their problems and more time just enjoying your life. You could be going on vacation here. You could be taking pictures. Some of you could be going out and like getting drinks and just enjoying yourself. You could be going to a spa. You could be getting your nails and hair done. I feel like you're taking care of yourself in those ways. For my ladies, you could be getting lashes. You could be getting waxed. For my man, you could be getting your beard touched up. You could be getting the edge up. You could be getting your hair done if you have long hair. And even if you're non-binary, these same things could apply. You could be getting changes to your hair. You could be getting your nails done, your toes done. You could be getting like, waxes in different places of your body. But take what resonates here, okay? I feel like you're really taking care of you and spoiling yourself, and people are noticing that, okay? So the next card that we have is Aries. So you may be the first in your family to do what you're doing, because Aries always makes me think of the first one. So I feel like pattern number two, you're breaking generational curses in your family. People are noticing that. Maybe you're the one who calls out the toxic cycles because you see the truth, okay? You have that power to see the truth. It's a gift, okay? And people are noticing that. With this Mars card, people are noticing that you're more assertive. Like I was saying, like people are noticing that you stick up for yourself. While you are peaceful, you still will go to war for you because you care about you. You love you, pound number two. You found so much joy in loving on yourself that you're not about to allow somebody to disrespect you. I feel like you do pick and choose your battles, though. You don't get into it with everybody, but I feel like when it's time for you to stand up for yourself, you do it. And it's not something that people expect, because you're not doing it in a way where you get emotional and you start crying. It's just very assertive. Like, you don't even show emotion when you do it. And that's what shocks people, because they used to be able to get an emotional reaction out of you. Now it's like they don't get that because your response is so mature but still assertive, okay? That's what people are noticing about you. They're noticing that they can't argue with you like they used to. They can't run game on you like they used to. They can't lie on you like you used to, because your life is proof that their lies are not true. Okay? I feel like you got this serious look on your face too. Some of you may have resting bitch faces there. But people just may be scared of you too, pound number two. Also, because they know you see the truth. So some people might be scared you're going to expose something about them here, but I don't really think you care that much about these people. Okay. That's what they're noticing. Like, I feel like also people are just noticing that you don't give a fuck. Okay. With this Aquarius card, you're detached. Like, people are noticing that you do not care. Like, that's why I say you're giving an unbothered energy. Like, I'm not really focusing on that. I don't really care. Keep doing that, pound number two. I'm not saying just don't give a fuck about people, but care about the right people, not the people that want to see you down. All right. The next card we have is Taurus. So you're enjoying more leisure time. So you may come around a little bit more glam, okay? You may come around with your hair and nails done more because you're taking care of yourself. You may buy yourself flowers here. You may cook yourself breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, you're doing things for yourself. Heavy on the self-care, okay, in this pal. And people are noticing that, okay? You look really good too. People are noticing that, okay? Some of you could be getting thick here. If you want to get thick, like, you're looking really nice. Your body is looking really nice here, okay? People are noticing that. Okay, the next card we have is Neptune, and it says confusion regarding. So it's like people are noticing that you're no longer confused about them. Like I said, you see the truth, but also you're not sacrificing your happiness for other people anymore. People are noticing that, like, you used to be that person they could go to, vent to, cry to. You're not that person anymore. It's not that you don't care about people's feelings, pound number two, but you just know that there's more to life than just helping other people. You got to help yourself too. You got to be there for yourself too, because everything begins with self, and you're noticing that, and people are noticing that about you. Okay. With the third house being here, next to this Neptune card, the Neptune energy is like music. So some of you could be really good at music and poetry, and people are noticing that. Maybe it's like a hidden talent because Neptune rules the 12th house. So you could have a hidden talent that you're bringing to the surface, or you're being called to bring to the surface here. With the third house, because it has this phone on it and these this paper with writing. I feel like people try to talk to you, pound number two, but they're blocked. People try to write you, but they can't. Okay. People are noticing that you have really, with that Mars energy, you have set some boundaries, and you're not folding on your own boundaries. You're staying true and honoring those boundaries that you put in place because you put them in place to protect you. And people are noticing that. The next card that we have is Gemini. So all this communication energy, the third house is ruled by Gemini, plus we have Gemini. So again, people can't communicate with you. Their words can't get to you. Things that they used to say, their gossip cannot get to you. That's why I say, like, this pile, you could have went through that. A lot of bullying, a lot of gossiping, but you're overcoming it. You're overcoming it, and people are noticing that, okay? With this no need to do, this is giving that Taurus energy, that leisure, because this card is like somebody just sitting down chilling. So some of you may smoke here, so people are noticing that, like, whether it be like, cannabis or vapes, stuff like that, people are noticing that. But yeah, this person is actually just relaxing and chilling and laying down with the pipe. So people are noticing that, like, you could be a stoner here. Also, people are noticing that you give off like hippie vibes. Okay, for some of you, you may like a boho vibe. You like that type of style. Um, oh, on this card it says do this, do that. People are noticing that you're doing what the fuck you want to do. Okay, people are noticing that you don't live for other people anymore. You're living for yourself. It's not that, like I said, it's not that you don't care, but you're learning to place that care in yourself, because I feel like for a lot of your life, pound number two, you spent it serving other people. You spent it being kind, being there for other people, but now you're spending it being there for yourself, getting to know who you are, unlocking those beautiful parts of yourself. And like J. Cole said, I'm diving in your mind and coming out with every gem I can find. So I feel like you're finding the beauty in you, okay? You're finding your value. People are noticing that you rest more. So you could have been somebody who worked a lot, but now you take more time to rest, and it's paying off. So keep doing that. The next card we have is courage. Okay. So people are noticing that you have courage to stick up for yourself. You have courage to do certain things that other people in your family have never done. You have the courage to stand up to those generational curses and break them. So, for example, you could come from a family that's racist and you're challenging that. You could come from a family that's homophobic and you're challenging that. You could come from a family that is strict and hoards money. You're challenging that. You could come from a family where everybody's a doctor and they want you to be a doctor, but you want to be an artist. You're challenging traditional norms here. Some of you could be challenging gender roles and heteronormativity, but take what resonates. It's like you're going against the grain. People are noticing that. With this patience card, people are noticing, how you have cultivated this self-love and how it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, and people are seeing your strides, and you and Pat number two, you're actually inspiring people to start caring for themselves more, to start loving themselves more, because they've seen how you were at the beginning versus now on your journey. Okay, people are seeing the progress, people are noticing that. Okay. But yeah, Pat number two, that was your reading. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of my flower circle. Moi. Okay, pal number three. Last but not least, what are people noticing about you? So, pile number three, people are noticing that you have quite a strong intuition and nothing ever gets past you. If people have ever done you wrong, they deeply regret it. And even if they don't, the karma is still lethal. You are being blessed for all the pure love you gave. People are noticing that you prefer relationships and connections that are equally yoked. You want people to pour into you the same way you pour into them. You are learning to attract high quality people and high quality experiences. You may have a spiritual career or calling, and you should answer the call. People are noticing that you are letting go of the past and shedding old layers. You are leveling up in life, and while people from the past may want to eat at your table, remind yourself, okay, that they did not help you prepare the meal, right? You see how all these piles kind of bleed over into each other. So if you made it to pile number 3 and you watch pile number 2, you may want to go back and watch pile number 1, because I kind of feel like this is given like a collective reading in a way, because all the piles have similarities. Okay, so if you resonate with all of them, that's fine. Okay, because they all kind of have the same messages here. But let's get into these cards, because even though there's similar messages, there are still these subtle differences. So let's get into that. So pile number 3, what are people noticing about you? So the first card that came out is 5 of Pentacles. So people are noticing that you get shit done by yourself. Okay, I feel like you are a popular loner. People know you, but they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know of you, but they don't know you on a personal level. Okay, people are noticing that you prefer that. Some of you could be more introverted here, or you were an extrovert and now you're becoming more introverted, or some of you could be an ambivert, and people are noticing that you can switch between the two. Okay, with the 5 of Pentacles energy, I feel like people did from your past that left you. I feel like they thought that them leaving your life was going to make it. They felt like you were going to have a tower moment. They felt like everything was just going to break down, but that didn't happen. Okay, people are noticing that you're strong without them. And what's interesting is when I picked up that card, I was thinking that, and I was saying it to myself as I was shuffling, and I was like, pile number 3 is very strong. And as soon as I said that, the strength card came out. So the next card that we have is the strength card. Okay, some of you could be Leos. We have a lion here, but it's like people are noticing that you've recovered, because it's this poem by Raina Biddy coming up called Recover. You've recovered from so much, pile number 3. I feel like what I'm seeing is like a beautiful amulet or a beautiful like old book, and you're cleaning it off, and when you clean off the dust, you see the beauty. I feel like that's you, pile number 3. I feel like you've gone through that, where it's like the vibe I'm getting is people just took from you, pile number 3. Like, you were like this beautiful flower, and people were taking your petals. And I feel like you've learned from those experiences, pile number 3, and you've grown from them. You didn't allow it to turn you cold, because you gave pure love. Pile number 3, you don't ever have to go to sleep at night feeling guilty, because you know you did right by people, even if they did wrong by you, even if it was a little misunderstanding here and there, even if you hurt that person sometime. The fact that no matter what, you made it right, you redeemed yourself, you still did right by them. Okay, because we're never not going to hurt people we love. We're humans, we're clumsy with our actions, with our words, with our emotions, but it's how we redeem ourselves that matters. Okay, I feel like you're somebody who's very accountable. People are noticing that here. I feel like you are always the first person to say sorry. Okay, in a situation, people are noticing that it takes great strength. People are noticing that you have emotional intelligence here. Okay, with this Page of Pentacles, people are noticing that you're creating something for yourself. I feel like you have a business, pile number 3. You have a spiritual business. You could be a Reiki healer. You could be a YouTuber doing tarot like what I'm doing. You could be giving life advice. You could be a life coach, a therapist, a preacher here as well. But you may have a unique way of going about your ministry. Whatever it is, I feel like you are really going to help people, pile number 3, and people are noticing that. People are noticing that you've just touched the surface. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Okay, take what resonates, because if that doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Okay, so the next card we have is the sun. Okay, we have the sun and the moon. We have the sun and Luna. So people are noticing how you have a beautiful balance between your feminine energy and your masculine energy. But going even more into that sun energy, people are just noticing that they can't get anything past you. Like, you shine a light on their darkness. Your light irritates other people's demons. That's what they're noticing. But they're also noticing that they can't hide anything from you. You're going to know the truth. I feel like sometimes, pile number 3, you may say things and you may not even realize that you've uncovered the truth about somebody. So, for example, pile number 3, let's say that a person is ashamed of their true sexuality, and let's say you say something about Why do people hide their sexuality? You can trigger other people around you and you don't even realize it, right? So that's an example here, okay? Take what resonates. But people are noticing that you're this sun, you're this light energy. And while a lot of people love this light, some people are irritated by it, okay? Pound number three. But just understand that their irritation is not about you, okay? And I'm sorry if you hear that noise in the background. Okay. I was waiting for it to stop. But yeah, pound number three, their irritation is not about you. That irritation is for them to heal, for them to figure out why they're irritated in the first place. It's not for you to blame yourself for, okay? You're actually doing them a favor by showing them what needs to be healed. Because a lot of people go through life thinking they're okay, but have all these triggers. Okay, for example, let's say somebody cleans up their room, right? But instead of cleaning up the room, they push everything under the bed and hide it. That's how it is when people are triggered. Those triggers come out because they try to make it seem like, okay, on the surface I look like this, but in on the inside this is what's really there. So your light does that, okay? And don't feel ashamed of that. It's a beautiful gift to have. You just have to know that other people's reaction to it is not your problem, even if they react positively to it. Understand duality of light and dark, okay? I feel like that's what that sun and moon is emphasizing too. Okay, let's get into more of these cards. Oh, oh my goodness, pound number three. I love your cards. Look, you literally have self-love. So people are noticing that you're loving yourself more. Okay. You're loving yourself. You love yourself enough to even put your career out there. I feel like if you have this spiritual career, you probably hesitated a little bit because you may come from a predominantly religious family like Christianity or them being Catholic or Muslim, whatever, you kind of remind me of pound number two, like going against the grain. But it's like you've learned to love yourself, though. Even if other people don't like what you do, you've learned to find value in yourself. I feel like you're so secure in you, pound number two, and people. Not pound number two. See, you may resonate with pound number two, but pound number three, people are just seeing how secure you are. The next card that we have is worthiness. So you know your worth, okay? You know your worth, pound number three. I feel like people from the past see that. They're like, wow, this person, because I feel like you believed in yourself when other people didn't. And they're like, wow, so this person knew their worth. I just didn't know it. I feel like you have a lot of people flabbergasted, pound number three. They're noticing like, wow, like this person really knows their worth. They know their value. Like pound number two, you're in, like kind of like how pound number two was, like you're inspiring people to get in tune with themselves. Okay. The next card we have is no judgment. So people are noticing how you don't judge yourself anymore. You don't talk down on yourself anymore. You speak highly of yourself. Okay. People are also noticing that you're not a judgmental person. Okay, I feel like you have a lot of understanding, compassion, and wisdom to give people, not judgment. Okay. I feel like people in the past could have stereotyped you as judgmental because of them judging themselves and projecting it onto you, but they're realizing that you're not even judgmental. Like you're very chill, very cool, very vibey. Okay. People are realizing that about you, pound number three. They're noticing that you're a really chill ass person, and they're realizing and noticing that the projections that they had of you are reflections of themselves, not you. Okay. The next card we have is trust. So people are noticing that you trust your intuition more. So if you have a spiritual career, if you're a tarot reader, you are really good. Okay. That's what they're noticing, that you trust your intuition, and they trust you too. People are noticing that other people trust you because you have nothing but pure love to give. Okay. I feel like you're very intentional with everything and you make sure to put love into it. I feel like you may be somebody who cooks, pound number three, and you sprinkle love into it, or you put hearts. I'm also getting a Cancer energy here. So some of you could be a Cancer, but people are noticing how nurturing you are. If you're pregnant here or about to have a baby, people feel like you're going to be a good mom, a good dad, okay? And if you don't go about the heteronormative ideas of motherhood and fatherhood, people still see you as a good parent, okay? The next card we have is magic. So like I said, some of you have a spiritual career or calling. You may do candle magic or candle work for somebody, take what resonates, but it's very healing because I feel like you do it with good intentions. Like you're not using it to hurt people, okay? Whatever you dabble in, I feel like you do it with respect, okay? But yeah, you do have a spiritual career here. Pound number three. Is this my pile too? Is this me? But anyways, pound number three. Let's continue on with these cards. The next card we have is Virgo. So people are noticing how healing you are, okay? People are also noticing how skilled you are. So if you do have a spiritual career, you're very skilled at it. You're very meticulous, okay? You're very detail oriented, all right? People are noticing that. People are noticing that you take really good care of your finances too. With the Pluto card, I feel like your spiritual abilities like could really be like mediumship. So maybe you communicate with the dead here, even if you don't think you can. Pound number three, people think you can. So that's what people are noticing. You may have people who want to reach out because they want to get a message from a past loved one, but they're just too scared. Okay. So take what resonates. The next card we have is Mercury. So people are noticing how you could like if you have a spiritual career and you communicate certain things to people, like you communicate certain messages from the dead, like that's what I'm getting. Like people are noticing that you do that, and people actually, even if you think people are judging you, pound number three, people actually are in tune with that, and they want to. Some people want to do the same thing you're doing. They're just too scared to say it. Okay, with the 10th house here, the 10th house represents status, okay? Because it literally says become a person of power and status. So people are noticing that you're becoming a person of power and status. So if you have a spiritual career, it's going to gain some traction here. Okay, just give it some time. Okay, you may feel like, well, nobody watches my YouTube channel because I'm really getting somebody online here. So if it's that, but if it's not, some of you have a business here, a spiritual business where you may make spiritual jewelry, or you're being called to do that. Or if you have a business and you just put it on the back burner where you're making like skin products that are vegan, skin products that are made with love and intention, like there's something with herbs here. Pound number three, work with them. Okay, use it for good, but work with them because you're really skilled with your hands here. People are noticing that. Pound number three, you're very skilled with your hands. Okay, so that's why I'm getting somebody could be doing tarot, or you could be doing Reiki. Okay, take what resonates. The next card we have is the second house. So money. So people are noticing that you have a lot of money, or you're going to have a lot of money in the future because of the career that you have. Okay. The second house also deals with self-worth. People are noticing that you know your self-worth. So other people are noticing your worth, pile number three, because like I've told the other pals, how we are seeing ourselves is how our reality is going to play out. So you knowing your worth, that's how other people are going to see your worth. And it's the simplest thing, but it can also be the most complex. Okay. So the next card that we have is relaxation. Okay. And in this card, it's a big, big full moon. Okay. And the next card we have solitude, and then we have voyage. And all three of these cards, there are full moons here. So whatever spiritual career you have, I really do feel like you may be a medium, like you know how to connect with the dead, like you're giving ghost. Have you seen that show called Ghost Whisper? I think that's what it's called. Like pound number three, you are that. Okay, people are noticing that about you. That's why they know that they can't get nothing past you. Okay. But back to this relaxation card, like it's a person reading the book. So people are noticing that you can read them like a book. I feel like pound number three, you don't even need cards to read people. You just can see. You can look at a person and see their whole life. Like, you know what, pound number three, you may be from Louisiana, okay? Because Eve's Bayou is coming up. This movie I've watched that I loved since I was a child. It's called Eve's Bayou. You may resonate with that, okay? The next card that we have is solitude. So I feel like a lot of your spiritual gifts have grown from you being in solitude, because pile number two is getting out of solitude, but pile number three, I feel like you're in this solitude mode, okay? Or you should go into it. But people are just seeing you as somebody who stays to themselves. That's why I was saying, like, you could be an introvert, okay? Or you just taking time for yourself now and it's paying off. The next card we have is voyage. I feel like people see you as somebody who's protected. Power number three. People are noticing that you were protected because the karma that they got. Because in this card, there's this whale. There's a mama whale and a baby whale, and it's like the mama and the baby whale are attached to each other. So it's like you are divinely guided and protected by your ancestors. Power number three, like the ones you venerate, like they really love you. Okay, they really don't play about you. All right. If you don't have an altar, maybe you should make an ancestor altar here, okay? Because that's what I'm getting. Like your ancestors want to connect more with you because you're very connected to the divine. Power number three, that's the message for some, okay? Take what resonates. If it doesn't, leave it. But for those of you who have a spiritual career, that's for you. With this voyage card, I feel like people are noticing that you're on this spiritual journey, and it's something that they can't interrupt. It's nothing that people from your past can come back and benefit from because it's for you, and it's only for you, okay? The next card that we have is enlightenment, and it's like a boat. and it's a boat in the solitude card too, and there's water. So yeah, you can see people very clear, pile number 3. People are noticing that. People are noticing that you're on this journey of self. You're on this journey to connect with God, to connect with the God in you, okay? With this enlightenment card, it's like you've learned so much being in solitude. And even if you're not in solitude right now and you're going into it, you're going to learn a lot. People are noticing that you're ever changing, pound number 3. So you could be a mutable sign, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius, because you're always changing here. Okay. People notice that, like, in 6 months from now, you're not going to be the same person. In a year from now, you're not going to be the same person. So people are noticing that this spiritual knowledge you have, it enriches you and it helps you to live this life and deal with the system and the human experience, because it can be crazy. We're going through so much right now. We're going through, the lawmakers trying to ban diversity. Like, I'm not even trying to get into politics. Pound number 3, you may be into them, you may not. Take what resonates, but it's like there's so much going on in the world. And the number one thing we got to learn how to do is protect our energy. And pound number 3, I feel like that is something you're learning to master. And people are noticing that, okay? People are noticing how you're protecting your energy, you're staying true to your spiritual gifts, even if people didn't understand it, okay? Because this could be something new. Like, that's why I said all these pals kind of overlapped, but it's okay because I feel like the messages that are there will resonate with who it's supposed to resonate for. But that was your reading, pal number 3. Thank you so much for coming to this reading and being a part of my channel. I appreciate all the love, the comments, everything. Mwah. Peace.